everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing a full face of NYX Professional Makeup products. I've got quite a variety. It's one of the only brands that I actually have a full face of makeup in. This is the finished look. If you want to see what I used to achieve this, then keep watching. So the first thing I'm going to try is the NYX brow glue. I remember this went viral when it launched. I can't remember what I thought of it. I've got very thick, long eyebrow hairs, so it's a good test. So it's definitely sticky. I'll be interested to see if it actually lasts. Something I've always thought NYX do really well are their brow products, and one that I've used for God knows how long is the NYX micro brow pencil. I use the shade Taupe. I used to use the shade Chocolate for a really long time, and then I look back at pictures of myself and my brows was just way too dark. So I've gone for Taupe because you can see it's just way more natural against my brow colour. I wonder if I should have done the pencil and then the glue, because I don't know if you can see it's like tugging. That brow looks way better. Moving on to primer, I actually had a few different options, but I had a look online and these are the only two that they still sell out of the collection that I've got. So I've got the Marshmallow Primer and the Honey Dew Me Up Primer. Because I know what foundation I'm going to use, I think I'm going to go for the Honey Dew Me Up Primer, which is a super glowy, hydrating primer. It just smells amazing and it's literally like honey. I love using this in the summer because it's so cooling and refreshing. It feels really nice when you're like super warm. This is also great if you've got like quite dry skin, so you can see that it gives quite a glow. You know, actually I'm going to try and layer them because I wouldn't say it's the most pore filling, but you can see my pores. Let's try a little bit of this in the centre. So this is the Marshmallow Primer. When I tell you, it actually smells like marshmallow. It's peeling slightly. I don't know. Maybe they shouldn't have been layered. The Honey Primer I really like. Marshmallow Primer smells really good, but if I had to pick between the two, I would go for the honey one. For foundation, I've got I thought I had way more option in foundation, but I think I threw out my Can't Stop Won't Stop because it was nearly out, but also it was just super matte, which I don't really wear anymore. I've still got this Born to Glow NYX foundation. Slight fail, I don't know if they do this anymore. I had a look online and it was on the Superdrug website. It wasn't on the Boots website, and I couldn't see a link for the NYX website, so I don't know. If I can find it online, I'll link it down below. I've got the shade Vanilla, which I know is too dark for me, and I'm going to apply this with a NYX brush as well. So I've got the NYX brush 37, like this. It's not clean. I used it the other day. It's a really good buffer. I don't know if that's too much. Okay, I'm going to go in with a brush first. I remember the smell now. It's definitely too dark, and I think I put on a bit too much. I used to absolutely swear by this foundation, and I remember when it came out, and before it came out I was very much like I would only wear very matte foundations, and I put this on and I was like, oh, that actually sits quite nicely on the skin and doesn't look as cakey and blah blah blah. And looking back on it, it's because it's not a super thick matte foundation on your dry skin. Okay, so it's definitely thick. In terms of the application with the brush, it's not streaky, it's just really thick. So I'm going to go over it with a sponge to try and take off the excess and see what I then think. You can see my sponge has picked up a bit of excess, and now definitely still full coverage and thick, but it looks a little bit smoother. I do really like it. I think I would probably apply less. I think I put on too much, but this is my skin close up. I do think it looks really nice. So I'm having a bit of a fail, and all the stuff I have they don't do anymore. For concealer, I was going to use the Born to Glow concealers for contour and concealer, but I don't do them anymore. So for my under eyes and for brightening, I'm going to use the Can't Stop Won't Stop concealer. I've got the shade 2 Alabaster. Oh, this is actually a brand new one. I remember this being quite thick. I'm going to blend it with the brush. So that's the concealer. I used a really small amount and it's covered really well. Looking a little bit like a ghost now. Very blank canvas. I don't know what to do about bronzer because I've only got cream. The two options I've got for bronzer are both discontinued, so I'm just really quickly going to use this to bronze up my cheeks. This is the Born to Glow concealer in Warm Caramel. I can't remember what the pigment is like. So that's without. I remember this being way darker, but happy to be proven wrong. I've gone a bit overboard on my forehead. That's blended out really nicely. Don't fall in love with it, it's bloody discontinued. Also, it squeezes out the sponge really nicely. You know, sometimes these products, like, they don't squeeze out. Ooh. Okay. Like, I've got some products like this where you squeeze it and you're there for ages and you're squeezing and nothing's happening. Whereas this is actually, I just gave it the tiniest squeeze and it all came out. I'm actually so gutted that these are discontinued because I think that's come out really nice. Yeah, I mean, all in all, my base is looking really nice. That's a shame. So I have actually lost my cream blush from NYX, which is the Sweet Cheeks cream blush. Because I can't find it, what I do sometimes do is use their lipsticks as a blush. I think I'm just going to put a tiny amount of this Soft Spoken on the back of my hand. Super creamy. And then I'm just going to use like a little brush and tap it into the cheek, just as a cream blusher. A lot of their lipsticks, especially the soft matte lip creams, work great as a blusher, cream blusher. I really like, I think it's the shade Istanbul. It's like a light pink. I really like that as a blush. I think I've either like thrown everything out or I've just put things in lots of different makeup bags and now can't find anything. So I'm just going to set my face quickly and then I'll be right back. Just set everything down and I used my NYX brush in number 2, which is a really nice powder brush. Before I do like any powder, bronzer or blusher, I'm just going to use some setting spray just to melt everything down. I've got the NYX matte finishing spray. I also really like the dewy one and I really want to try the marshmallow setting spray. Let me know if you've tried it down below. I'm really interested to know, 1, if it smells like marshmallow, and 2, what it's like. So I'm just going to let that dry down quick. So moving on to blush, again, absolute fail. I've got these powder blushes. I've got 3. I've got a matte one and I've got 2 shimmer ones. I've just looked on the NYX website. They only do the matte ones now, and the matte ones they do, they don't stock the shade that I've got. So the shade that they do have in matte is the Daydream one. So this is the shimmer version, but I don't think they do it anymore. So I'm going to put this one on because the shade they actually do is just a shimmery version. So I remember these being quite pigmented. Again, I don't understand why they don't do these anymore. Look how it's just like got a really nice sheen to it. Really like that. This video is meant to be like me doing a full face of NYX makeup. It is me doing a full face of NYX makeup, but half of it's discontinued and I'm really sad about it. I love that. Also, these blushes again work really well as eyeshadow. Sometimes I would put the shimmer ones like in the centre for like a halo eye. Loved it. Would blend really nicely and sit really nicely. Again, I know it's discontinued, but I'm going to use the California Beaming shimmery bronzer in the shade Free Spirit. Again, a very light amount, but oh, again, I just remember loving this. remember drowning myself in it. I'm just glowing. So I have a few options for eyeshadow. They don't actually, these were like limited palettes. They don't do these anymore, but they do same formula and setup, but different ones. On their website they've got one called Ultimate Queen, which is kind of like very neutral colours like this. So I could use these, or I have got the Ultimate Mini palette, but it's just not shouting to me. I might do the Modern Dreamer because I really like this shade, as you can probably see, but then I might do something where I can put this on the eye. So we're going to just go in with a safe shade. I don't know if you can see it's come slightly here, but apart from that, it looks nice, blends nice. Okay, I've got another one of the same brush, but not the one I just used. I'm just going to take the slightly lighter shade next to it, this one. And then I've got this brush, which is ever so slightly smaller, but I can't find a smaller one, which is the 283 brush from P. Louise. I'm going to take the tiniest amount of this dark brown, literally like that. This side looks really open, this side makes it droop. I'm then gonna take, and I don't know if this is an interesting, good idea. I'm gonna take this like peachy colour, and I'm just gonna put it here, blend it with the dark brown. So I'm using the blush, and I'm gonna put a light layer on the lid rather than, yeah, see, I think that's pretty. And then it's like a little bit of shimmer. So I've popped on mascara, and this is what the eyes and base are looking like. Let me know what you think. I know at the start of the video I said something that NYX do really well is eyebrow products. Another thing they do really well is lipstick products, lip liners, lipsticks. They have such good shade range. I've got quite a few products, so I'm gonna try to find something that goes with the lip. I'm thinking like a brown nude, but we'll see. I have a whole bunch of their lip liners in different formulas, but I think I'm gonna go for the shade Natural in their lip liner Crayon, and then with this one in the middle, which is their Slide On Glide On in Nude Suede Shoes. I really hope they still do this because this is one of my favourites. Not to line the lips, but for the middle. That's the Natural lip liner. I'm going to take Nude Suede Shoes in the middle. I'm thinking of putting a gloss on top. For gloss, I'm going to use the NYX Butter Gloss in the shade Tiramisu. So that's the first option, which is okay. It's a bit underwhelming and it's a bit purple. Starting with a blank canvas. I'm going to try this instead, which is the NYX Shine Loud lip gloss. And this is in the shade Cash Flow. I've not tried this shade before. I'm going to use that Natural lip liner. And then I'm going to use the gloss. This is the finished look. Overall, I'm very pleased. It's also been a really long time since I've worn eyeshadow, so this feels a little bit strange. I think my favourites were the Born to Glow foundation and the Honey Do Me Up primer of what they still sell. Absolutely gutted that they don't still do this Born to Glow concealer in Warm Caramel, but I think maybe I should try their Bear With Me concealer If you've tried both, let me know if you noticed any differences at all. Let me know what you think down below, and I will see you next week for another video. Bye!